you bring 2 cans of food.
And as Halloween approaches, many of the kids will be dressing up as ghosts and ghouls. But do spirits roam Lubbock streets and buildings all year long? CBS 13's Shannon Espinoza uncovered some mysteries from our local ghost stories.
Haunted tales, folklore, or urban legends, no matter what you call it, there's hundreds of books written on the subject. And most books are written about the larger cities, the spirits of the Alamo in San Antonio, or the haunted homes in Fort Worth. There's no book devoted to the tales of Lubbock, but that doesn't mean the stories don't exist.
We don't think of Lubbock as having ghosts or, folklore, but every city does.
Rob Weiner is our guide to finding ghosts in town. He works as a city reference and information librarian, and he's also lived here all his life.
One of the most prevalent stories deals with a house here in Lubbock called the Prison Man's House.
The red brick house on the west side of town looks like no other home in the neighborhood, or the city for that matter. Bars are placed along some of the red bricks surrounding the house, and its shape and structure look eerily like a prison.
The story goes that this man killed his wife, and they let him out. And he didn't feel like he paid enough retribution for his horrible deed, and so he was building this prison around himself.
Weiner says supposedly the man died, but his spirit still inhabits the property.
This is where we saw it. And so, it was along back there behind the shelves.
And did a spirit roam the city's Mahon Library? Weiner's colleague shared her story of a strange sight one night.
We were closing, so all the lights were out, and all the staff was up at the front waiting to go out, and all the public was supposed to be out of the building. And we had circled the building to see that everybody was out, and then we saw a woman in a red dress walk along that wall.
So Merritt DuBois walked back through the stacks of books, thinking someone stayed in the building, but...
It only got weird when we came back here, and there was nobody here.
And she says no one was ever found. The library's built on land where the infamous 1970 tornado destroyed homes, killing dozens and injuring thousands.
I don't believe anything in particular, that it's a guilty spirit or a mistreated spirit or just a sort of a memory in the air of somebody that had walked through there.
And if you walk or drive down this street, you may see the Memphis Man. Weiner says a man waiting for a bus was struck and killed by it, and his shadow still waits for a ride.
It's kind of like an optical illusion, and I've seen it. Other people say they can't see it, but if you're driving at night, going down Memphis towards 50th Street, and you look at the corner of 66th and Memphis, you can see a shadow of a man waiting there.
And there's many more stories passed on by word of mouth. The ghosts at the Lubbock Cemetery, spirits roaming the halls of the Texas Tech campus. Even some claim to have seen shadows and heard noises at the CBS 13 building. But whether you believe these stories or not, it still makes for an interesting part of the city's history. And maybe one day, somebody will write a book about them. I'm Shannon Espinoza, CBS 13 News.
Do you think perhaps the one at the Mahon Library was one of those characters trying to jump out of a book?
You never know.
I
heard tonight, ice in the veins. I heard tonight the Merkin Alumni Center was haunted over on the Tech campus.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know who's there, but...
Yeah, and we have a ghost here, like Shannon mentioned, a very friendly ghost. Though.
Really?
Yeah.
Never seen.
I've heard him, I've not seen him.
Okay.
But some people have seen him.
Oh, yeah. Frightening scene, though, for real, along the West Coast.